Good morning, everyone. Let me move this down here too. It is February 9th. It's a wonderful, balmy day here. Yes, I've already been to the barn, took care of that, because I was busy this morning watching. First of all, I got up about 4:30. I had enough sleep. I slept so good. I tell you what, 4:30 came around. I woke up and I'm done sleeping. I got up, turned the coffee on that my sister-in-law had already prepped. All you had to do is just turn it on. And ended up talking to a friend of mine in Korea. For an hour and a half or longer. Yeah. Oh, it was great talking about our kids, our husbands. And there is a 1,000 day vigil prayer that's been going on already 906. Today was the 966th day. And she sent me a link. It's on YouTube, but it's live, so it's not available otherwise. You got to be there live with it. And I thought, I'm going to tune in on that. It was 7:30 our time, Eastern time, and we talked until then, and it was great. So by the time in her place in Korea, it was going towards, I don't know, 10:30 or something. Okay. Anyway, at night, that's the time difference, about 11 hours. And anyway, we got to the end and she said, "Hey man, it was so nice talking to you." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I already had a great day just talking to you. So wonderful. We've known each other for, gosh, 35, 34 years. Okay. Raised our children together when we lived in the same place or the same town in Berkeley, California. How blessed am I to have people like that in my life. Well, in any case, I said, okay, I'm going to set aside the time that I've set aside for making the videos to watch that today. And it was wonderful. All I'm going to say for right now on that is, I loved hearing the old songs. That we have in our church, Heavenly Soldier. There was the Garden. What was it called? Well, anyway, all these wonderful songs I all knew, and I sang along. And there was this one guy. He was just, yeah, that might bother some people, but the thing is, the excitement, the energy that he brought with that into the beginning of all, it was great. I mean, you could feel God in that room. Yes, in Chungpyeong in Korea, with true parents, with all the brothers and sisters being there, and probably quite a few of them have done that for 966 days. Yes? And you can tune in and, all right, well, how come I didn't know sooner about that or anything? You know what? Does that matter? I'm going to be there for the next 34 days if my friend sends me the link every time. I told her, just send me the link every morning. And I'll be ready. Oh, I set my alarm. I'll be ready. I loved it. It was so wonderful to just be a part of that, to hear the testimonies, especially of young people. Yeah, well, that's what they were. The testimonies of young people on how this time, right? What's 966 days? That's what? That's close to what? 2 years, a year and a half, a little more, right? And on how they've been inspired. Not just through that, but it's this type of energy with people together, and you're doing it what? For yourself? No, for the rest of the world, for the conflicts in the world. Yeah, you gotta lay a spiritual foundation. That's always the first thing, and amazing. And through that time, there were some things that happened that were a bit devastating. But I feel that these are just more challenges, right, that show me that you don't give up. Show me that you'll know how to find another way. Huh? If one way dries up, for example, financially. Okay. Well, anyway, then there were also during the time that the people were a part of this, and how within their own family structure with their children, maybe a marriage of their children or whatever, things weren't so good. I mean, and they started to find back together. Things started to grow back together on all sides, right? Sometimes when a marriage fails, it's not just because of the husband and wife. It's also because of the people around them. Yes? Yeah? Okay. Anyway, to hear all that, to just hear these wonderful testimonies. One was we hadn't heard from our son. We were so worried. Was he even alive still? And while the mother was a part of all this, there you go, prayed about it, was a part of all this. Father, you know my worries, right? Yes, here I'm making this condition, so please let me know. And sure enough, the son calls. Okay, all right. It was just one thing after another that I watched and just got really pulled into it, as you can tell. I'm a very happy camper today. Okay, I'm always a happy camper, but I'm a very happy camper today. Ooh. So, let's keep going on what we're doing. Yes. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes. God's working with us because we're working with God together. Yes? All right. I'm in love. My heart, after most of it was done, I was in love. My heart was in love. Was in love with it all. With the people, make all these sacrifices to be there, to make this commitment and take responsibility. All right. Exuberant me. Yes, that's me. Like it or not. My son, when he left, my son, such a short time that we spent together, yet there's so much to share. That is just so wonderful. Or rather, yes. Do we always have to be on top of our children, this and that? Yes, if it's necessary. But in what way are we doing that? Before he left, he says, Mom, I'm going to let you. He was already up to get to the Mom, I'm going to let you know if I get home. I said, yeah, that would be the good thing to do. That would be advisable. Yes, just to ease my mind. Okay, my heart to mind that you got home safe. It's a 2.5 hour drive from here to his home at night. Him tired, although he had food, and I gave him a cup of coffee on the road. Okay, and he says, but you know how it is, right, Mom? And I said, yeah. I said, no news is usually good news. And if it's bad news, he can wait. And he looked back at me and he goes, oh, and started laughing. Yes? Okay. All right. Well, anyway. Okay. We are in the last chapter of the second book of Kings before we're going to start with the books of Chronicles. On the 966th day of the prayer vigil in Jeonpyeong in Korea, with true parents, with my brothers and sisters, I want you all to be my brothers and sisters. Get the blessing. It's going to come your way if that's what you want. Okay. So let's get going here. I'm so hyped up right now. Okay, I'm always hyped up, but I'm so hyped up right now. I really don't want to read anything negative. Okay, let's not make it negative. All right. It's not going to be negative. It is as it is. It's already happened. It's the past. Just learn from it. The siege of Jerusalem, second book of Kings, 25. In the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, advanced on Jerusalem with his entire army. He pitched camp in front of the city and threw up earthworks round it. Oh, I wonder what that means. Some kind of a barricade with dirt? I guess. In the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day, probably at the 10th hour, too. That's amazing how they know that. How they remember that, how they wrote that down. So precise. Right there. The city lay under siege till the 11th year of King Zedekiah. In the 4th month, on the 9th day of the month, when famine was raging in the city and there was no food for the populace, a breach was made in the city wall. The king then made his escape under cover of dark with all the fighting men by way of the gate between the two walls, which is near the king's garden. The Chaldeans had surrounded the city and made his way towards the Arabah. The Chaldean troops pursued the king and caught up with him in the plains of Jericho, where all his troops deserted. Whoa. The Chaldeans captured the king and took him to the king of Babylon at Riblah, who passed sentence on him. He had Zedekiah's sons slaughtered before his eyes, then put out Zedekiah's eyes, and loading him with chains, carried him off to Babylon. Well, that's just awful. I always wonder what is the satisfying result of any of these men, monsters, who kill children. Maybe Zedekiah's sons weren't all children anymore, but there was a lot of that going on too, wasn't it? What is such a great accomplishment about that? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It is as it was. I could say more to this now. We're restoring. All right. The sack of Jerusalem, the second deportation. The sack of Jerusalem. In the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, it was in the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Okay, this was in the 9th year over here, the siege. So this is quite a bit later. King of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, commander of the guard, a member of the king of Babylon's staff, entered Jerusalem. That's a long time after. He burnt down the temple of Yahweh. Well, there you go. I'd say if the Ark of the Covenant was there it goes right there. If it hadn't already been displaced or burnt, molten down for the gold and all before that. The royal palace and all the houses in Jerusalem. The Chaldean troops who accompanied the commander of the guard demolished the walls surrounding Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, the commander of the guard, deported the remainder of the population left in the city. The deserters who had gone over to the king of Babylon and the rest of the common people. Oh, he at least did that. But the commander of the guard left some of the poor country people behind as vineyard workers and plowmen. Oh, so the poor people now we know are farmers. Yeah. I guess it pays to be a farmer. Just stay where you want to stay. Oh. First come last and the last come first kind of thing. You're not important enough, but your craft is important. Okay. The Chaldeans broke up the bronze pillars from the temple of Yahweh, the wheeled stands and the bronze sea, which were in the temple of Yahweh, and took the bronze away to Babylon. They also took the ash containers, the scoops, the knives, the incense boats, and all the bronze furnishings used in worship. Now, I thought that the kings themselves of Judah and Judah and Israel already kind of raided the temple of Yahweh of a lot of that stuff. So there seems to be still plenty of it, though, to take. The commander of the guard also took the censers and the sprinkling bowls, everything made of gold and everything made of silver. As regards the two pillars, the one sea, and the wheeled stands, which Solomon had made for the temple of Yahweh, there was no reckoning the weight of bronze in all these objects. Why not? They're so good at being precise everywhere else. Besides, don't we have already read about exactly on how big they are, this gnat, and how much, and right? Yes. Okay. One just have to go back in the records if they actually existed. Okay. The height of one pillar was 18 cubits, and on it stood a capital of bronze. The height of the capital being 5 cubits, round the capital were filigree and pomegranates, all in bronze. So also for the second pillar. Yeah, we know that. They hadn't destroyed those yet. Before that? Oh, interesting. The commander of the guard took prisoner Seraiah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the priest next in rank, and the 3 guardians of the threshold. In the city he took prisoners an official who was in command of the fighting men, 5 of the king's personal friends who were discovered in the city, the secretary, 5, wow. The secretary to the army commander, responsible for military conscription, and 60 men of distinction discovered in the city. So precise in the numbers. Now, I thought that Zedekiah wasn't doing things pleasing to God. So what about those priests? Are they still priests, prophets under the guidance of God, or again under the guidance of whoever else is idols? Not getting it. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say who was actually took captive, what they were actually doing. Nebuzaradan, commander of the guard, took these men and brought them to the king of Babylon at Riblah. And at Riblah, blah, 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 okay, in the territory of Hamath, the king of Babylon, had them put to death. Interesting. They just transported them all the way to Babylon just to kill them anyway. Why didn't I just do it right there? Thus Judah was deported from its country. Okay. Gedaliah, governor of Judah. For the people remaining in the country of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had left behind, he appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan, as governor. So is he what? A Judean? When the military leaders and their men all heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah as governor, they went to him at Mitzpah. Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, Yohanan, son of Kareah, Seraiah, son of Tanhumet, the Netophathite, Jazaniah, the Maacathite. Interesting. Jazaniah is a Jaa. The Maacathite is M-A-A. Interesting. They and their men. Okay, so they went to him. To them and to their men, Gedaliah swore an oath. Do not be afraid of the Chaldeans, he said. Stay in the country, serve the king of Babylon, and all will go well with you. But in the 7th month, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, son of Elishama, who was of royal descent, and 10 men with him, came and murdered Gedaliah. Well, he was of royal descent, so no wonder. They seem to be well versed and adept in murdering people, as well as the Judeans and Chaldeans who were with him at Mizpah. Then all the people, high and low, with the military leaders, set off and went to Egypt, being afraid of the Chaldeans. Oh, wow. The last chapter in the 2nd book of Kings, where did they all go? The remnants, the leftovers, back to Egypt? King Jehoiachin pardoned. In the 37th year of the exile of Jehoiachin, king of Judah, in the 12th month, on the 27th day of the month, evil Merodach, king of Babylon, in the year he came to the throne, pardoned Jehoiachin, king of Judah, and released him from prison. He treated him with kindness. Why was he called evil Merodach, king of Babylon? Evil was a name? Evil? It's spelled evil. Huh. He treated him with kindness and allotted him a seat above those of the other kings who were with him in Babylon. So Jehoiachin, king, laid aside his prisoner's garb, and for the rest of his life always ate at the king's table. And his upkeep was permanently ensured by the king, day after day, for the rest of his life. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Everyone, this is the end of the 2nd book of Kings. We are done with Kings. Hallelujah. All right. My exuberance, my excitement for what I watched this morning, all with what's going on all around the world, especially with young people and the way and how restoration works in people's lives, due to the fact that they are 100% dedicating their life to God. Yes? All right. God's works. God's restoration path. They are. This last part here, I'm having very little give and take with it. Okay. Sometimes that's what you just do as well. I learned one thing from True Father. Again, through people I met, first-hand experiences had with that, with True Father, where when people would come and tell him something negative about someone else, he would literally just turn away and didn't want to have any kind of give and take with it. Well, wouldn't Father want to know if someone did this or that? Nope. What he wanted to know is when someone did good things. Yes? Freedom of will. You get to choose. Everyone gets to choose. What do you want to do? Okay. Anyway, so there it is. Oh, what a good ending in a way for the Book of Kings that I struggled with. Struggled with the people in it. Do understand some, but struggled a little with the people in it. Mainly on how finicky people are, right? Yes? Yeah? Anyway, so there it is. That's all I have to share this morning. I got things to do. I decided to make some planters. My youngest granddaughter loves to garden. She loves planting. And so I made her out of plastic jugs that I saved. I made her three planters. That one I made into a piggy, one a dog. So our piggy Tinkle, our dog Gus, and a sheep. Yes, we don't have sheep, but a sheep. Yes, and I'm going to fill that with good dirt, put some seeds in it. By the time that I'm going up there, they will have to start to sprout. Yes, and that will be her birthday present. I know she's going to love it. Yeah. Woo, woo. Yeah. Very excited about that. I'm gonna go cut some rounds from a branch about this big, four of them, and attach them to the bottom so that the containers stand nicely as legs. Yes. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Woo! So excited about it. There. That was the rooster who crowed. That means time to get off. May God bless you and protect you. And I will talk to you all another time.